Dr. Alex, today I would like to talk with you about the Labor Market Impact Assessment, also known as LMIA. It is a very popular term for those who are looking for work in Canada or immigrate to Canada. We pre-selected 10 most painful questions from our viewers, and here they are. What is the role of an LMIA in the Canadian immigration system?
Very good question, because it's so much wrong misinformation coming on the market through various frivolous publications. And let me clarify. The LMIA role is dual. First of all, for employers is a right to bring foreign workers into Canada. And the second role is for the worker to be able to apply for work permit to come to Canada to work, and definitely workers with LMIA benefit from additional points when they apply through express entry system.
What are the key eligibility criteria for an employer to apply for LMIA?
Very good question also, Maria, because many people confused about the eligibility, because people think that any company can apply. And sometimes we have people coming to us and saying, my friend own his own contractor business and he would like to file for LMIA. So if you're self-employed, you cannot hire anyone. And plus you have to have payroll, you have to have a good history with Service Canada, because you apply not to Immigration Canada for LMIA, employers apply to Service Canada. And definitely you have to have sufficient income coming or profit already existing to be able to cover the hire, to pay the wage that you promise. Those are basics.
What are the steps involved in the LMIA application process, and how long does it typically take?
Well, steps are critical because immigration, not immigration yet. Let's go back to Service Canada, because LMIA is a Service Canada application. So they first assess labor market impact. And how they do this, they publish advertising. They try to hire Canadians first. And then after 30 days required period, after that, they employers can actually make an offer to the foreigner, if that foreigner already selected or coming during this advertising timing. How long? And after that, they go through application process, and that's exactly what related to the question. People ask. First period of time, definitely it's a given, 30 days. And then application can last from 30 days to 6 months, depends how busy Service Canada is, what kind of priority we have for a job, because sometimes people come in from a very hot market, very hot industry, and then that's exactly how Service Canada facilitate that. So this is very basic, but people have to understand, whoever is asking, it's not immediate. You have to go through certain procedures, and those procedures take time and definitely cost money.
What documentation is required from employers to support their LMIA applications?
Very good question, because again, sometimes workers or applicants come in and telling us the story from their employers who suggest to help without any effort. That's impossible. So a very rational, very practical way to assess is to review, and that's what we actually do during first assessment period with employers. We see if they have everything that required, and what's required is last year a T4 summary to show payroll existing. Definitely we go to corporate income tax. We have certain form schedules from the balance sheet. And definitely we need to show incorporation time and confirmation of business existing in Canada. And definitely we need to make sure that company fit the requirements of the program. A certain list exists, but those are basics.
What are the most common reasons for LMIA applications to be rejected?
Well, very good question, because sometimes they do reject. And it must be something really, really serious, because when the employer exhausted local market and couldn't find anyone to work at this position, at this location, we always tell employers to be absolutely in line with expectation of the Service Canada officer when they go through interview. And by the way, interview is required still. So those things are critical for employers to understand. A rejection can come from, for example, not sufficient advertising efforts, not right selection of, let's say, wage. And this is very critical. That's why the support of the legal team is required. Because, like, take us for example. You know that we have absolutely day-to-day updates on LMIA requirements, and if somebody taking one application and filing an application change in the process, and then they didn't know about this, and they file and they wasted time, an application simply rejected because it's old application. So up-to-date application is not correct, rejection. Wage is not properly selected, rejection. uh, Roles of the employee are not properly selected. That's very interesting too, because people sometimes take somebody who can do anything. And what I always say, and you know that government doesn't like universal soldiers, so they need someone who can do the job and has a proven experience on this job. So LMA is not something you can buy or do without any proper corresponding experience. And this is very critical too, because a lot of fraud on the market going on with LMIAs.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been very helpful.
Thank you.